Okay, folks, this is David Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew, going live on Jess TV on the Marilyn Monroe Show. Jess TV in Lethbridge, Canada, tremendous project with global distribution. Tune in every Sunday night at 7 p.m. to the Marilyn Monroe Show on Jess TV. We have a very special edition here Saturday morning. We wish everyone a fabulous Saturday morning. You can tune in to the Marilyn Monroe Show on Jess TV here on Saturday and every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on Roku Television, SSH 101 channel, Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV at the NCG Television Network in Lethbridge, Canada. A tremendous project with global distribution. Here today going live with my fabulous musical genie friend, Nayyar. Nayyar plays 130 musical instruments, folks. I don't think the Guinness Book of World Records knows what to do with this guy. So we're going to start out by talking about how Neil, his father, had read a book that was a philosophy book of instruction of how to play musical frequencies into the womb of your child, send those frequencies into the womb as the child's growing, and it will become a musician. So Neil's father decided to experiment with this philosophy and this facilitation process, and he played Mozart into the womb of Neil's mother while he was growing in his womb. And now Neil plays over 130 musical instruments. Neil, how you doing today, Neil?
I'm doing good, David. How you doing?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous. Not a cloud on the horizon. Business is going off well as planned, my good man. And I wanted to start out by asking you, you play 130 musical instruments. That is phenomenal. And over in Europe, they refer to you as the musical genie, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so you're a big deal over there. And I wanted to, just start out by asking you about your musical journey at just the age of 18 years old. I believe you broke the Guinness Book of World Records as playing the most instruments as a human being in our civilization. At the age of 9 years old, it was like 44 instruments or something.
Yeah, so let me explain how my story all started. So it all started when I was in the mother's womb. My dad, he was in the library looking for a book, and he chose one book randomly and started reading it. And after reading the book, he read one line which mentioned, if you play Mozart's music on a tiny speaker by the womb, then the child will become a musician. For example, let's say you played a scissor sound by the mother's womb, then the child will become a surgeon. So my parents tried the first experiment, which was Mozart's music. So as time went on, when I was at the age of 6, my parents, they took me to a free drum class in a music school, and they wanted to see how I would do music. So, and after one drum class, I was playing the drums like an old pro. It was like I didn't know the instrument, but I was playing it fluently. My drum teacher and my parents were shocked. They were like, what? How? And after that, after my parents were amazed by my drumming, my parents decided to give me another instrument, which was the guitar. And after learning the guitar, I went to the piano, to the flute, to the saxophone, on and on and on. Then, at the age of 12, that's when I made my very first world record for playing 44 musical instruments at the age of 12. And then after that, I decided to break my own world record for playing 107 musical instruments at the age of 13 in 2019. And now, currently, I can play 130 instruments from around the world.
Wow, that's absolutely fabulous and amazing. And then,
Thank
so
you.
throughout your career, Neil, in the music industry, what are the challenges that you've had to overcome to be able to accomplish playing over 130 musical instruments throughout your young career at just the age of 18 years old?
I must say the challenges I had to face, as a musician playing 130 instruments, I would say it was like doing everything. Like for example, like sometimes creating songs. Sometimes, because I work in the film industry. Sometimes they want songs on the spot. Let's say in one day they want a full song ready. So that would be the first challenge. Second challenge is performing. Because when performing, you may never know what might happen, so you have to be ready on the spot. For example, you might have to perform with a band, and you have to be ready, like on the go. That's my second challenge as being a musician. And third challenge is also because I'm also a film composer, is also composing soundtracks and for movies. So now, same thing. Like I have to be on the spot, be ready to go. And I think another challenge which I have faced is composing in different genres. Like sometimes people would want two genres mixed together. So let's say you have American music, and now you have Indian music, and they want that to be together. Whether I am doing a score for a movie, or whether I am composing a song or anything. So I must say those are the challenges which I have faced as a musician, or as a multi instrumentalist.
You've all had to overcome a lot at just the age of 18 years old. And a quick station identification, you can tune in to David Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew, at the Marilyn Monroe Show on Jess TV, www.jessfm.ca and jessfm.ca, Lethbridge, Canada, tremendous project with global distribution. You can tune in every to the Marilyn Monroe Show, Roku TV, Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, SSH 101, NCG Television Network, and Lethbridge, Canada. Okay, and then we're going to go in and talk about, Neil, how did you come up with the idea to play 130 musical instruments?
So I think this idea came from after playing 107. I said, okay, I did 107. Should I increase or should I stop? I said, because I always love to always challenge myself. When you challenge yourself, not only you get better, but it's kind of like you are upgrading yourself. For example, let's say I started 107. I was thinking, okay, I'm good, but now my learning process stops here. But when I challenge myself, I am upgrading myself. So then I decided to add few more instruments. So, and yes, some were tough instruments which I have had in my 130 instrument list. But still, I was able to face it, and I was able to complete my my instrument list. And now I'm still thinking of increasing my instrument list. I think my next number would have to be next. I'm looking forward to 170. That'll be next. 170 instruments.
Absolutely fabulous, Neil. And why did you pursue an artistic career? Why did you choose that in life?
So I think why I chose this because after I made my world record for playing 130, right? Actually 107. After making the record for 107,
Yeah.
I said, okay, maybe I should do a little bit more. So I decided to compose songs. For example, like I composed songs for a few series. Also did for one movie. And then after that, I got more interested in the music industry. I said, let me see what's in there. Then I found out, there is film scoring, which is another way, like film scores, they can do anything. Like as a composer, you can compose music for films, for commercials, for TV series, for documentary. I mean, for anything, even also live TV, right? So after that, I started looking to it, and I found out, like I've always, wanted to be in the film industry somehow. Either be an actor, which I'm already am, or I might do music. So I said, how would you do both? Do both acting and music for the film industry.
Right.
So
That's what we want to get into next is, how do you
mhm.
achieve a healthy, a work life and, pursue your acting and musical artistic career and have a healthy balance with that?
So how I manage is like very complex. Like in the morning, when I wake up, I would just warm up my vocals because I'm also a singer. And by the way, I can sing in 11 different languages, including English, Spanish, Chinese, Ukrainian, Sinhalese, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada, and Punjabi. So as I'm a singer, in the morning I do my vocal warm ups. That's what I mostly do for 30 minutes. And then after that, I will start my day, working on my instruments which are new, or the instrument which I am still struggling with, or sometimes I might practice my instrument which has to be ready for a performance. And then after that is done, that might take me around 2 to 3 hours. After that, I move into um, my studio where I record my songs, or I score for movies. At the moment, I have 4 movies which are actually I have 3 movies which are in pre-production, and I have 1 movie which is in post-production at the moment. So at the moment, I'm working on that movie. So that took me around 2 hours again. And after that, if I have free time, what I would like to do is listen to music. Listen to different artists which I have never heard of. And I will listen to and I like to analyze. And then from there, I will try to apply it into my projects and see how I can combine that artist's piece of music with my music and fusion them together. And plus, I'm also in college at the moment. I'm doing my prerequisites, so that also does consume time. So that is my schedule, and yeah, it is pretty busy.
That's fabulous. Do re mi fa sol la ti da ti la fo sol re mi do. Right? Yeah. I did a little bit of that
Yes.
when I was in high school as well. So I want to know what inspires you in life with your music, your acting. You're only 18 years old. A guy like you, musical genie. You play over 130 musical instruments. What inspires a guy like you, Neil?
So I think what inspired me was, again, challenging myself and also exploring new cultures of music. And why I love to explore new cultures of music, because there's always something which I don't know, and I always love to explore that. For example, recently, um, there was a performance. It was like for like some Chinese performance, and they wanted a mix of Chinese and South Indian music. Now, I knew Indian music. I knew mainly North Indian music, but I didn't know about South Indian music that much, and which is a genre which I am still exploring. You know, and they wanted me to prepare a piece in just one day. Again, one day. That's like a lot of pressure. So they wanted 2 songs from the South Indian films, because South Indian films also do have songs. Like so like the South Indian industry is like Hollywood industry, only difference is the language. So they wanted songs from a South Indian film. I said okay. So I listened to the songs, and they were so different. It was like you were hearing a language which I don't speak, you know. So I analyzed the songs. I created a chart. What key is it in? What is the song talking about? And then from there, I'll make sure that it matches with my instrument. And after that, I was able to combine Chinese and South Indian music together. So that's one of the things which has really inspired me. And not only that, learning new instruments like how I'm doing right now, also composing in different genres, and also sometimes composing music for films. That's another challenge too. Like where some director wants your own style of music. Like it doesn't have to be Chinese, American, or Indian. Like my own genre. So yeah, it's a big subject we can talk about for many hours.
You're absolutely fabulous. Yeah, you could go on like the Energizer Bunny. Quick, station identification break again. This is David Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew on the Marilyn Monroe Show, live on Jess TV in Lethbridge, Canada. Tremendous project of global distribution. You can tune in on Roku TV, Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, SSH 101, the MCG Television Network in Lethbridge, Canada, www.jessfm.ca and jessfm.ca. So now we're going to get into the highlights of your career, Neil. What are the biggest highlights of your career? I know you played the Star Spangled Banner up there at the Sacramento Wildcats game up there in Sacramento. That's the AAA ball club for the San Francisco Giants. The owner of the Sacramento Kings NBA pro basketball team, Vivek Ranadiv, owns the team. He also owns the Sacramento Wildcats. So I know you play the Star Spangled Banner up there on the big jumbotron and all that in front of the whole world. That's got to be an absolutely fabulous experience. What are some of the highlights of your career at just the age of 18 years old? What are your best highlights you got going on?
So I think my highlights, which I have had, since this musical journey, one is that I performed the national anthem for the Sacramento Kings in front of yes, the national anthem in front of the owner of Sacramento Kings, Vivek, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
I got a chance to meet him. That was a big thing. Next, I got the opportunity to perform at the Sacramento River Cats, which is a baseball minor league, and I performed there approximately, I would say, 7 times. I got a chance to sing the national anthem, play my instrument on the national anthem. Like I got the chance to perform the Star Spangled Banner on the Indian sitar at the baseball game at Sacramento River Cats, and that's the first time a musician has ever done that in America. No musician has ever played the Star Spangled Banner on the sitar in a game. So I was the first person to do that. And then in the month of December 29th, I will be performing the national anthem at Stockton Kings, which is also owned by Vivek. So I'll be performing the Star Spangled Banner on the saxophone. And I do have more highlights. Back in 2019, I got the honor to perform for our First Lady, Jill Biden, which is Joe Biden's wife. So I got the opportunity to perform the saxophone in front of her, when she was doing the fundraiser for Joe Biden. And that was a great experience, and I got an autograph from her. She was a very nice lady. What else do we have? Like, there's so much. Like, I also got a chance to produce music for a South Indian song from a South Indian movie, which actually already became a blockbuster. It's called Dada, and it's a blockbuster South Indian film. And that song which I produced, which is called Pogathay, Pogathay. So that word is in Tamil language, and that word means "don't go." and right now that song has around 5 million views on YouTube. And if you look in the description, it shows all the instruments I've played. I think I have approximately played 10 instruments in that song, and I also produced that song. And not only that, um, I've also composed for 10 films and working on future projects. And one of the first major projects I've done, which is called Beyond the Door. It's a short film which I have done with Mad Wife Productions, and and I must say, surprisingly, that film won an award for best sound and music at a film festival, which was held in Canada. So that was a big achievement for me in the film industry, and from there I decided to, keep going on with these movie projects.
Oh, that's
Uh,
absolutely fabulous. Yeah, this is David Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew with the Marilyn Monroe Show on Jess TV Live, jessfm.ca, www.jessfm.ca. You can tune in on Roku TV, Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, SSH 101 TV, CG Television Network, and Lethbridge, Canada, Jess TV, tremendous project. And so, yeah, those are some great highlights of your career, Neil. And what is the most important lesson you've learned throughout your life at just the age of 18 years old? With all these fabulous accomplishments you've already accomplished throughout your career at just that young age of 18, what are the most important lessons that you've learned in life to get to the point to where you're at in your acting career and your music and artistic career?
so the three things which I always have in mind, which always help me to um, to get my accomplishments: focus it, get it, and have it. If you have those three things in your mind, you will be able to accomplish anything in life. And another thing which also helps me to move forward is challenging myself. Because if you don't challenge yourself, you will always be here. But when you challenge yourself, you are upgrading your skills. You're getting better at your skills. You're getting better at everything you do. Which is why we always need to challenge ourselves so that we get to go to the higher level.
Yeah.
And also, I want to make a message to all the people who are watching right now. So, if um, you are interested in music, doesn't matter if it's kids, adults, teenagers, or anyone. If you are interested in learning music and you want to learn an instrument, what I would suggest, for parents or teenagers, go to a music store, try an instrument, try all the instruments they have in the music store. It can be a bass guitar, piano, a violin, guitar, or anything, right? And after you find the instrument you like, now you want to buy it, but now you're not able to afford it. Well, there are other ways to afford your instrument. One, you can buy a used instrument, or two, you can rent an instrument. Now, after you got the instrument, great. Now you might be thinking how now now you might be thinking what to do next, right? Now from there, I would suggest you look for a music school which offers one free music lesson. Go to the school, try that free music lesson, and if you like it, then you'll be able to start your musical journey.
That's absolutely fabulous. And I want to know, you've done, some, film composition and scores for films. You've accomplished playing over 130 musical instruments. We're going to talk about a couple of your commercials in a moment. But I want to know, out of all of those accomplishments that you've had at just a, young age of 18 years old, so far in your career, what is the most rewarding project or what's most rewarding to you as a personal individual, pursuing an artistic career, music, television, what's the most rewarding, um, issue to you in life? Out of everything that you do, that's fabulous. What's the most rewarding project to you in your life,
Rewarding projects. Um,
or rewarding about your career?
I mean, the first rewarding for me is first able to being able to play 130 instruments. Um, Second is the movies I have worked in film scoring, like I mentioned, Beyond the Door, the short film,
Right.
which won an award for best sound of music. Another thing was performing at big venues. The biggest one which I have done, two of them. Sacramento Kings. There was 10,000 people watching me perform the Star Spangled Banner at Golden One Center. That was the first thing. And the second big thing was there is this Indian festival which is celebrated every year um, in September. And this one is called the Ganesh Utsav Festival. And this festival this festival is for the god, and the god is Ganesha. Ganesha is the god with a body of a human and the head of an elephant. And you take more information about that god. Um, so I performed, songs related to the festival, and there were 7,000 people watching me perform. So like those were um, the two big performances I've done, and also performing in front of Joe Biden's wife. That was a rare chance I got. And also for the mention, um, also being featured in two commercials. So back in 2022, I got featured in two Honda commercials, Honda car commercials, where I got to be featured in with my mom, and I also got the opportunity to compose music for both of my commercials. And those commercials were like any popular. They were showing on Hulu as an ad. They're also showing on Pluto TV, and they also showed all over California. And now I heard a company bought this two commercials for $5 million. Again, $5 million, and which has even spread out more in the U.S. So yeah, those are like the big achievements I've done too.
That's absolutely fabulous, Neil. You're moving right along. You've got some blockbuster projects on the horizon, what you've done. And now I'm going to talk about your album, Breaking Barriers. But before we talk about that, I want you to play us some music on your India sitar, and then we're going to go into your Persian four-string bow instrument, the Comanche. Let's get you to play a little number for us on the Indian sitar, and then we'll go into your album Breaking Barriers just after a quick station identification. Once again, this is David Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew, with the Marilyn Monroe Show on Jess TV, Lethbridge, Canada. Tremendous project for global distribution. Tune in on Roku TV, Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, SSH 101 TV, and the NCG Television Network. In Lethbridge, Canada, tremendous project for global distribution. So we're going to talk about your album Breaking Barriers, Neil. But before that, I'd like to get you to get in, and I believe you've got your Indian sitar there, and play a couple of numbers for us. Let's hear Neil here on his sitar, folks. This is absolutely fabulous. There's nothing like it in the world. This guy is a unique human being, and he's the only guy who plays this sitar in our entire civilization. Let's hear it, Neil. Get ready for this, guys. This is great. We've lost audio, Neil. Turn that up, please, sir.
Can you hear me still?
Okay, turn it up a little bit, Neil. Yeah, I can hear you now. Turn it up.
Okay. No, can
Turn
you
that
hear
up
the
as loud
music?
as you can. Let's hear that guitar. We want to hear those vibrations into the universe out here.
But you can hear the music, right? It's playing.
Okay, now I can hear you now. Yeah, your audio was off momentarily. Let's go ahead and go in with your number now that we can hear you. Turn it up and jam that guitar for us, Neil. There you go. Rock and roll. Here's Bill Nayyar on his famous Indian guitar. We lost your audio again, Neil. Turn that up as loud as you can, sir.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I'm still having trouble hearing you. You might want to turn that audio up so we can hear you jam
Sure.
out and rip
Okay.
up on that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Neil, so what was that number? What do you call that?
So this piece I played was an improvisation piece. Um, this is called New Vibe, and this is also out on YouTube. This was an improvisation of guitar and with loooping. So you can check the full video on YouTube, on my and the full track.
Okay, please turn your audio up a little bit more, Neil. This is David Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew, with the Marilyn Monroe Show on Jess TV Live, Lethbridge, Canada. Tremendous project for global distribution. Tune in on Roku TV, Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, SSH 101, and the NCG Television Network in Lethbridge, Canada, www.jessfm.ca and jessfm.ca. And so now, we want you to, we'll talk about your album and then we'll go on to your Comanche four-string bow Persian instrument. So the album Breaking Barriers, when is that coming out? Where can we see that? Where's that available? Where can people buy that? And Breaking Barriers is fabulous. I love the name,
Yeah,
by the way. Breaking
thank you,
Barriers.
appreciate it.
Let's
Yes,
talk. Let's talk about that. You know.
yes. So my album, yes, it's called Breaking Barriers, and that album has all 107 musical instruments recorded in that album. And so in the album, there are two songs which I'm featuring in. First, we have Exploring Worlds, and that album has all 107 musical instruments recorded acoustically in one track. Again, one track. And this is the longest track on my album, which is under 10 minutes. So that's one thing. And the second song I have is called Chasing Dreams. Um, that song um, has my vocals in it, by the way, and it's a rock genre, and it talks about my journey to Hollywood. So those are two songs I have, and we have also have other songs which are in an album, which are in different genres, like Chinese, Arabic, Irish, and lots of genres. You know, and this my album will be coming out on October 29th. Again, October 29th. That's where I'll be releasing my first debut album, and this album will be available on all online platforms, CDs, and vinyl records. So do check that out. And if you want to get those albums or CDs, you can go to my website www.neilnayyar.com, and you can order directly from my website.
Oh,
And not only that, along with my album, I will also be releasing my first book called Passion to Exploration of 107 Sound Machines. And that book has all 107 musical instruments. And I wish I had it here, but that book um, explains all with the 107 instruments. And that book is available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble, or you can get it from or you can get directly from my website. And again, that book is still getting popular. You know, kids are liking it. So if you want to learn more about instruments, go check out that book, Passion to Exploration of 107 Sound Machines.
okay, that's absolutely fabulous. Now we want to go into um, playing your next musical instrument. We want everybody to go out and pick up Neil's album, Breaking Barriers. It's got 107 musical instruments in one track. I don't believe anybody or musician in the entire planet or our civilization has ever accomplished that, folks. This is a big deal. Go out and get Neil's album, Breaking Barriers. Now, we want to go in to your Comanche, which is the Persia four-string bow instrument, or can you play the tabla? Do you have that with you?
Yes, I do have. So let me show
Yeah,
you.
yeah, the tabla is what our viewers are asking for. That's very critical,
Yeah,
I believe. Yeah,
yes.
can we play that
So
for them?
sure. So I'll show you the instrument which I'll be performing. So this is called the Comanche. It's a four-string instrument from Persia, and this is how it looks like. I'll show you the whole thing. So this is the Comanche, and along with the Comanche, I have this instrument, woodwind instrument called the xiao. And the xiao is a woodwind instrument from China, and it is kind of played like a shakuhachi, if you know what that instrument is. Like, so that's the sound of the xiao. Then we have, this instrument, which is a very long string instrument called the sarod, Sarod, and this instrument is from India. And this instrument is played like a guitar, except it is fretless. And there are no frets. And how we play the instrument, now you might be wondering, well, we play with our nails. So we use our nails to play the sarod. And since I don't,
You have your tabla.
since I don't have my full tabla, so as you know, in the tabla is a percussion instrument from India, right? And there are two drums. So we have the baya, which is the low tone, and we have the traya, which is the high tone. So for now, I have the baya. So here's an example of how it sounds. Let me see if we can put the mic down. Put it. Can you hear the sound?
Yes.
So, so that's the tabla except with the baya.
That's absolutely fabulous. And then you have your the four-string bow instrument, the Persian Comanche. Did you want to play a little number on that for us?
Yeah, of course. I'll give you a sample.
You got 107 of them laying around there. Let's get that Comanche out there. That's fabulous.
Yes. Let me just the microphone. That's the Comanche.
Oh, that's absolutely fabulous. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's your Comanche, and you got over 130 instruments, 107 on your album, Breaking Barriers. Folks.
Yes.
You got to go out and pick up Neil's album. And we're going
And let me demonstrate. Yeah, let me demonstrate the xiao. So this is how it looks like. Yeah. And it's close to shakuhachi. Why I'm saying this is because of the mouthpiece and the sound. So in a shakuhachi, the mouthpiece is more bigger than xiao. If you can hear the audio quality better, let's see. So that's the xiao.
Okay.
And I actually I'll actually demonstrate the sitar again because I feel like few people couldn't hear it properly with the background music.
Yeah.
So I'll play one song for you.
Fabulous.
I'll play one song from my album, and I might
What's
sing
the name
along
of
with
the song on the album? This is from Breaking
it.
Barriers.
Yes. This is called Crossing Borders.
Okay, fabulous. Crossing Borders.
Can you hear the sound?
Yes, perfect.
The next song is called "Come Together" by the Beatles. Here come on flat top, he come grooving up slowly. He got Jubilee, he won holy roller. He got head down to his knees. One thing I can tell you is you've got to be free. He rolled the coaster, he got on the sideboard, he won. On the sideboard, he won. Spinal cracker, he got feet down below his knees. Hold you in his arms till you can feel his disease. Come together right now. Oh, me. Yeah.
To hear you do number from Paul McCartney, John Lennon, the Beatles, man, that's absolutely fabulous. You put a new twist on coming together over us. Isn't that fabulous?
Yes. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and so Neil, this is quick station identification. This is David Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew, with Marilyn Monroe Show on Jess TV Live, Lethbridge, Canada. Jess TV, it's a member project with global distribution. You can tune in on Roku TV, Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, SSH 101 Television Network, and the NCG Television Network in Lethbridge, Canada at www.jessfm.ca or jessfm.ca. And so now we want to talk about a few more things that you've got going on, Neil. I want to get into, your book, Passion to Exploration, and you can pick that up at Barnes & Noble and Amazon. Is that correct?
Yes, and also you can also pick it up from my website too.
Okay, and that book, The Passion of Exploration, we touched on that a little bit. What is it all that exactly about, and what do people expect from that book when they pick it up from your website?
So yes, the book Passion to Exploration of 107 Sound Machines. That book has all 107 musical instruments explained, and it's for all ages. When you get the book, you will see little animation figures of me demonstrating how the instrument is supposed to be played, the title of the instrument, and a short description of the instrument. And the reason why I created this book, so the reason is that whenever I perform, let's say at like, for example, I performed at the Indian festival where they wanted the Indian sitar, right? And after my performance, 5 Indian people asked me what this instrument was. And I was so shocked that this instrument is from the culture and they have no idea what the name of this instrument was. And I was shocked. I was like, wow. And I was like, instead of like telling each person what it was, how about I create a book so that people can gain knowledge from it and they can learn more about the instrument. So that's why I created this book, Passion to Exploration of 107 Sound Machines. So there you go.
Oh, that's absolutely fabulous. So now, Neil, you turned me on to a guy by the name of Steve Oakley, who was a writer for MTV for 34 years. Now, it
Yes.
just so happens that I'm from Lethbridge Center, California, my hometown, Marilyn Monroe's hometown, and I just happen to be a couple of blocks down from the original farmhouse my legendary film director, grandfather Jack Stubbs, who was best friends with Walt Disney and his sister Ruth. They live right at the top of Ocean View here. So when you turned me on to Steve Oakley, it just so happens he lives up in Tahunga, about 2 miles from it. So I want to talk about your collaboration with Steve Oakley film project, which is top secret film project that we're collaborating to put together with Steve Oakley, fabulous writer with MTV for 34 years, the Music Television Network.
Yes. So how I got collaborated with Steve Oakley in 2022 when I came on this popular LA news channel KTLA 5, where I got to do an interview and perform my instruments live. And you can check that out there too on my YouTube page or on the website. Um, you know, and after they aired it live on TV, after 2 weeks, I got a call from this unknown number. Um, and this, when I picked up the phone, I talked to this person named Steve Oakley, and he told me who he was, and he said like, I have the musical talents, and he wanted to collaborate with me um, on his project he's working on. So I should sure why not. So the first project I worked on was called the Steinberg series, and it's about this guy, uh, who's on an adventure, of something. So I got the chance to compose the music for his series, and also got the opportunity to act in it too. And
Well, that's
then, sorry,
no, that's okay. Go ahead.
yeah, and after that, I started getting two more projects, and the project I'm currently working on right now is called uh, Steinberg Plays Peoria. So that's another project that's working on at the moment, and right now I'm scoring for it, and I'm also composing the music for it too. So
And
I'm scoring for it, and I am composing a song for this series. And one project I am working on with Steve Oakley, and um, that name is called The Sacramento Kid, and it talks about the kid who is in Sacramento trying to be uh, a martial artist. So you could say it's kind of like a Cobra Kai series, kind of like that you could say. And I also produced the song for the series called Sacramento Kid.
that's absolutely fabulous. I talked to Steve Oakley, and he is a fabulous film director and music composer himself. He can write scripts right off the top of his head, just like that. The guy's great. He wrote for music television for 34 years, and he's got a remote role that he's going to use me in that film, the Steinberg film. And I've talked to him. I've collaborated with him since you've introduced me to him. And Steve is absolutely fabulous. He's been in this business since he was 5 or 6 years old, pursuing the music, acting, television, drama, theater. I think he ran a theater for like 30 years or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so this guy is incredible. He's a tremendous writer, and so a great film editor as well. So to be able to
Hmm.
take a remote role and add it into a film with the actors like they're with each other when they're actually in a remote role, putting them together in his cinematography in the film is tremendous, and that's a very gifted talent. I only know a couple of directors that have done films that can actually do that and make it a quality cinematography project. Um,
Yes.
Putting the two together because you got one guy on a remote line here and one guy on a remote line here. You have to
Yes.
take those and put those together in your cinematography on the screen and make it look like they're actually together. You know,
Yes.
so when you got guys who can't make the location, they're all over the world. You take these remotes and you edit
Yeah.
them together into your cinematography. That's a talent. So that's great, and that's what That's what Steve does. So that's absolutely fabulous.
Yes.
So I want to ask you now, after a quick station identification, this is David Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew, with the Marilyn Monroe Show on Just TV in Lethbridge, Canada, Tremendous Project for Global Distribution. Tune in on Roku TV, Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, SSH 101, NCG Television Network in Lethbridge, Canada, www.jessfm.ca and jessfm.ca. And so now I want to talk about uh, your um, your projects and your instruments are related to your favorite Bollywood song with the Bangla touch that goes into that. Can you play your favorite Bollywood song with Bangla touch in that for our viewers out here?
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Why not?
Fabulous. Our viewers are looking for that, and Neil's going to give it to us.
Can you hear the sound?
Yep, we're rocking and rolling. Well, that's rocking and rolling, Neil.
So yeah.
What
So
do you
for the
call that
audience.
number?
Those are two Indian songs I played, very popular Bollywood songs. So for the Indian audience who knew which one I was playing, the first song I played was "Mere Ghar Ram Aaye Hain." That was the first song I played, which is a Hindi song. Second one I played was "Ghumar," from the movie, from correct, Bajirao Mastani, or from the other movie. So if you know those songs, then you guess them right. So those were the two songs which I played on the Indian guitar.
That's absolutely fabulous. That's rock and rolling, man. It's always some rocking great hand, man, with you, man. That is just rocking dynamite, man. So, I want to talk about now um, to I want to talk about your project with award-winning film director William Marks. You have an upcoming film with William Marks, and is that going to include scoring. That's going to include your music and scoring. Uh, and in the film, you're going to be acting in the film. I understand. Is that correct?
So yes, so I'm not acting, but I am going to be film scoring. So
And can we give the name of that project, or is that
yes, so
top secret at the
the
moment? Okay.
that name project is called Paper Notice. And it is I would say like comedy drama film, and it's a short film. And William, um, actually, I reached out to him first because recently, last week, we had a film festival in Sacramento called the Sacramento Film Festival, which is supported by Access Sacramento here locally. I heard about a film festival, and I was there too. Not this year, but like a few years ago. I before I played the cello for a short film, which was held at the Sacramento Film Festival, and that but then the movie which I played in was called Lollipop, and that one won so many awards, and also won for I think it got voted for best picture at the film festival. And this year's film festival, this movie, Paper Notice, got recognized at the Sacramento Film Festival last week. So, uh, you know, uh, I reached out to him saying, "Hey, congrats on your film." You know, so after they said, "Hey, I'm looking for a composer and I'm wondering if you can re-score the entire film." I'm like, "Sure, why not?" So I'm going to be scoring this film, and I think this movie will be going again for film festivals, and probably next year we'll be going online on Tubi, TV, and Amazon Prime.
That's absolutely fabulous. You know, up there in Sacramento, my publicist and my photojournalist, Orlando Jose, he runs around with a purple puppet.
Yes,
I'm not sure. Do you know Orlando? He's right up there in Sacramento where you're at. Yeah.
yes, I have heard of him. Yes,
Yeah, he's fabulous. So we'll have to get together and put a project together with him in
of
the
course.
upcoming future. Yeah, I think that's fabulous. So, quick station identification. Once again, this is David Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew. It's Marilyn Monroe show at Jess TV, Lethbridge, Canada. Tremendous project with global distribution. Tune in on Roku TV, Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, SSH 101 TV, NCG Television Network, in Lethbridge, Canada, www.jessfm.ca, and jessfm.ca. And so we're going to talk about that was your project that you're having with William Marks. Now we talked about Steve Oakley. Now I want you to give me your personal viewpoint and opinion. I have 6 Marilyn Monroe genre films under contract with my fabulous multi-award-winning film composer Mariano Solano, who wins the Best Film Composer scoring awards at the Hollywood music festivals every year. So I got 6 Marilyn Monroe genre films upcoming, including the Monroe universe, and I want to know your particular viewpoint and opinion. Neil, how do you feel about working on the movies with me?
I mean, I feel great. I can't wait to explore the Marilyn Monroe movies. It'll be a great honor, to be working with you and also with the award-winning film composer Mariano Solano. So this will be for sure a big hit, you know, and I can't wait to be working on this projects.
Yeah, I just want to mention one of my films that you're going to be working on is my biopic family perspective film, Marilyn, the Truth Forever Monroe. Okay, and I'm going to put this into contrast with prior projects that are rubbish about my Aunt Marilyn Monroe and my family's history. Brad Pitt went out and did The Blonde in 2022 for $22 million he produced based on fiction. My film is based on fact. And I'm going to tell you, my poor grandparents, my poor grandmother, they lived in fear their entire lives that we ever came forward and said anything that the CIA, which is not a government organization. It's an agency that was created by Lucky Luciano and the mob. That one day the CIA and these crooks, might kick our door in and murder our entire family. Just imagine my grandfather, Jack Stubbs. He was a legendary, pioneering, Hall of Fame legendary motion picture director. He was Elizabeth Taylor's booking agent, talent manager. He was Mickey Rooney's booking agent, talent manager. And our whole lives, we lived in fear. My poor grandmother was on eggshells her entire life. She would hear loud noises out the house and just be, you know, it's like my grandmother lost sleep. She could never come forward and say anything. So now that all of that information is public information, we're going to create this film. I'm going to create this film, me and Mariano, and it's my biopic family perspective film, Marilyn the Truth Forever Monroe, which is based on fact. How do you feel about working on that film with me, Neil?
Yeah, I can't wait. The story is very interesting, and I think for sure I would love to work on it and see how it goes.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely blockbuster. I've got 5 other Marilyn Monroe genre films that are upcoming as well, including the Monroe universe. And I want to explain a little bit about that Monroe universe. You see this Captain America shirt right here, right?
Yes.
Okay, so my grandfather Jack was the film director that created Captain America on film for the very first time in film history with the 1978 television program Captain America. And I'm going to talk just a little bit about how that developed. My grandfather was a legendary film director, worked on many TV shows back in the day, including Violent Woman, The $6 Million Man, Columbo, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, Maverick with James Garner, and others. And so my grandfather called me honey. He says, honey, I was driving into my television projects. He says, for like 2 years. He said, I would see this guy, parading up and down Hollywood Boulevard in a Captain America's uniform with a makeshift shield acting like Captain America. He says, so that guy inspired me. He says, I'm going to go out and get that guy, and we're going to do a Captain America film. And so he did. And this guy, Reb Brown, portrayed Captain America. And so it goes, that is my inherited intellectual property. Captain America and the Marvel Universe is my inherited intellectual property because my grandfather created Captain America on film, and then now you have all these other, Monroe genre or Marvel Universe. You've got the Avengers, you've got Iron Man, and all these other projects. Had it not been for Reb Brown parading up and down Hollywood Boulevard from the Man's Chinese Theater, you wouldn't even have the Marvel Universe films. So that being said, my grandfather is the godfather of the Marvel Universe, and it is my inherited intellectual property. Marilyn Monroe is my aunt. She is my inherited intellectual property. So we have Captain Monroe and the Monroe Universe. And you're going to be working on that film. We'll get you in there with your musical instruments and have that added to the scoring of the film. And it's going to be absolutely a blockbuster project. So I'm looking forward to working with you on that. Now, I also want to talk about after station identification. Once again, this is David Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew, with on Jess TV Live on the Marilyn Monroe Show, jessfm.ca and www.jessfm.ca. You can tune on Roku TV, Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, SSH 101 TV, and the MCG Television Network in Lethbridge, Canada. A tremendous project. And so, I want to touch on, you have a project coming up with screenwriter Craig Sultan. And does that have to do with the feature film pre-production lottery that you're working on with Sister Bollywood?
So no, that is a different story about the Bollywood. Now, so Craig Sultan is a screenwriter. He has been doing movies for a long time, and this movie he's working on is a big budget film, and it's a full feature film, and he reached out to me, saying like, he's looking for a composer, who can do something Latin. Because I feel like this story is connected to I would say like in the Latin. So I'm like very excited to see what the story is about. I don't have much information about the project yet, but only thing I know is that it's about Latin. So we will see how that goes. And I heard that he has four projects which are also in script, including one animation project. So I can't wait to work on his projects, and for sure it will be a huge success.
Oh, that sounds absolutely fabulous. And yeah, it's been great with you, Neil. I'm going down to Madame Tussauds Hollywood Wax Museum tonight, and I'm going to be hanging out with John Ozuna, two-time Guinness World Record holder, and they're going to be showcasing his film Bouncer down there, and we're going to be taking pictures with all sorts of fabulous celebrities and people that I'll be adding to the network that I'll introduce you to in the future that will be working on upcoming projects with my films with Super Angels Productions and also my upcoming Marilyn Monroe genre film. So that's going to be a blast down there. And so what I'm going to do is after I do that, um, we'll bring you into our production and see about adding, your music into scoring into the films, working with Mariano Slalom, my multi-award-winning film composer on the six Marilyn Monroe genre films that we have upcoming. So we'll all get together and we'll have a powwow and we'll get you, an acting position in the lead role in those films. We'll get your music scored in it, and you'll be a big, tremendous part of the Marilyn Monroe universe and the Team Monroe Film Company upcoming here in the very, rosy near future, my good man.
Great, I can't wait. And one want to mention the other project which I'm working in. This film is called Lottery, and it is a full feature film. And this film is being directed by a sister of the Bollywood star, by the way. So right now, they're working on the script, and it's a big budget film, a feature film. So I can't wait to work on it. And I do have three other projects, as I mentioned, working with William Marks on Paper Notice in post production, working on a short film with Mad Wife Productions called Past Due, and it is a short film. Um, then I'm working on a project with Quake Sultan, which is in pre production. And also, of course, lastly, working with David Monroe on his project of the Marilyn Monroe universe, and of course, the project which you already mentioned. So I'm looking forward to it, and for sure, it'll be a huge success, and it will be a blast.
That's absolutely fabulous, Neil. Tell us one more time where our viewers can find you on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of your social media platforms, and where we can find your music, your book, and also your upcoming movies and projects that people can look into. What are all the different addresses? Tell our viewers
Yeah.
where they can find you, Neil.
So, if you want to check out more about me, you can either type my name Neil Nayyar on Google, or you can just go to my website www.neilnayyar.com. Um, Again, for Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, just type my name on Google, Neil Nayyar, and everything will show. And if you want to check out my album, you can go to my website. Just go to the page where it shows shop, and you'll see my book and my album. And again, my book and album will be coming out on October 29th. So please do note that down so you can get your album or your CD and get to listen it on the same day.
Okay, folks.
And oh, sorry, yeah.
No, go
And
ahead, Neil.
yes. And if you want to check out the projects I am working on at the moment, you can go to IMDb and type my name, Neil Nayyar, and you'll get updates on the movie projects I'm working on. And same as for David, if you want to see his projects he's working on as well, you go to his IMDb and type David Monroe, and it will show everything on what he's working. So there
Okay,
you go.
yeah. And I just want to inform the folks that next week on the 27th, I'm going to have the legendary organizer, Samira Kazmendi, the Samira Networks. She organizes the Oscar Gala viewing party every year. So she'll be upcoming next week. We're going to talk about her projects and showcasing the Oscar viewings. And we want to close out the show with a musical number with you on the guitar, Neil. Play us a number and close us out.
All right. And two, I want to mention about my upcoming performances. I'll be performing the Star Spangled Banner on the saxophone at Stockton Kings. And yeah, and also check more about me. Just put my name on Google. Check out my Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Nayyar. There we go.
That's absolutely fabulous. Rock us out with a rockin' great hang with Neil Nayyar on the guitar.
Someone once said to me to live your life remembering. So I played to be set free, free from all reality. I mean, don't be afraid to ride. One chance to dream, one chance to fly. If you're in harmony, then join me in this melody. I'm going to Hollywood. I'm gonna make that move. That would be the price I pay for love. I'm going to Hollywood. I'm gonna make that move. That will be the price I pay for love. 3, 4.
All right, Neil. That's absolutely fabulous, folks. That's
Thank you.
Neil Nayyar, the music genie, plays over 130 musical instruments. Pick up his book and pick up his new album and look for him upcoming in my 6th Marilyn Monroe genre film. Yes,
And
absolutely fabulous.
And one more thing I want to mention is that I recently got featured on the Bluey page. If you don't know what Bluey is a very popular animated cartoon show made for kids. And right now they're on the 4th season. And they actually featured me on the Instagram page of me playing the Bluey theme on 20 different instruments. So do check that out on the Bluey page on Instagram.
That's absolutely fabulous, man. It's always a rockin' great hang. We got a rockin' great hang with Neil Nayyar. And tune in next week to David Peace Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew, on the Marilyn Monroe Show. We're going to have Samira Kazmendi. She is the coordinator that puts together all of the events for the big gala Oscar viewings every year down here in Hollywood. And tune in to Jess TV on Roku TV, Android TV, Apple TV, Fire TV, SSH 101, and the NCG Television Network in Lethbridge, Canada at www.jessfm.ca and jessfm.ca. Neil Nayyar, folks. Thanks for tuning in to the Marilyn Monroe Show on Jess TV.